Hello, everyone. This is Daniel Riley on Sports Talk on Power Talk Internet Radio. I'm going to take a break from sports this week because there's a problem that I feel I have an obligation to address. Over the course of the past few years, I've had the pleasure of bringing this program to you. We've all discovered two things. Book smarts aren't the same as real-world smarts, and B, crying wolf isn't exactly fixing hundreds of years of oppression and injustice here in the United States. I am, of course, talking about Yale University. According to multiple media outlets, a student newspaper at Yale has charged Samurai Jack creator Genndy Tartakovsky with homophobia, sexism, and cultural appropriation. And let's just say there's no sign said charges have a basis in fact. And that's putting it politely. For those not in the know, Samurai Jack is an animated show about a samurai thrown into the future after an evil demon enslaves his homeland. The show's won countless awards and put Tartakovsky at the top of the animation world. The non-existent controversy surrounding homophobia hangs around a character named Scaramouche, a robotic assassin sent to kill the protagonist. Problem is, the character was inspired by a musician named Sammy Davis Jr. Davis was not a gay man, as his fans know. He was merely very eccentric and referred to people he came in with contact with as babe. Now, uninformed complaints like this don't help the gay community in the least. Then again, neither do false complaints of sexism when you have a strong female lead, or cultural appropriation complaints when said show exposes the viewer to a different culture and forces them to think and grow about societies other than their own. Crying wolf like this happens at major institutions all over the country, and those involved are doing much, much more harm than good. Accusations like this that are clearly nonsense don't make you socially conscious. They make you a fool setting the equal rights movement back 40 years. Oh, and this would open up said student newspaper to a libel suit if it were a publication like the New York Post. You don't promote equality and justice by consistently censoring everything in sight and falsely crying victimhood. What you do when you do that is create a culture of paranoia. Yet again, this is the same student body that is in favor of repealing the First Amendment to save their selfish butts from getting offended. So that's what we should expect from a campus like this. And the sad thing is, there are plenty of them out there. That said, I do see signs of hope. Colleges and certain student organizations are striking back, telling students that simply silencing someone you disagree with isn't the answer, and you are going to come across controversial material in life. That's worthy of more than mere applause. It's also badly needed when we have colleges justifying jokes the likes of the creators of South Park are throwing that at them. Instead of worrying about rich celebrities not winning another award, let's start focusing on things like poverty. The poverty rate has doubled since the Great Recession hit, and all you hear at colleges now are complaints about books in a library when you could simply not check that book out. People question the wisdom of going to college nowadays. It's expensive, that degree might not be worth that paper it's printed on, and now, to top it all off, too many four-year colleges have a reputation of massive censorship and promoting playing the victim. Look, As a college student, I can't blame those with that complaint about our four-year universities. I really can't. Stuff like this doesn't help. Crying wolf like this also doesn't help those experiencing real discrimination. I hope we can use this as a learning tool. There is no comparison, none, between false accusations of sexism when a character is a strong, intelligent lead and the pay gap between men and women. This false outrage won't help those women who are assaulted at home, or say women and other minorities robbed of jobs and such, when college newspapers give ignorant accusations of homophobia and discrimination against a filmmaker. In fact, fools like this are why political correctness is mocked on programs like South Park every week. Cry wolf and only pretend that you're doing the world a favor, when in reality, you'll make the lives of those facing real discrimination worse, and only think you're all that and worth a pat on the back. You'd think those working for the multiple school papers at Yale would practice a little thing called checking the facts before publishing an article like this, because false allegations like this make you look terrible. And yes, unfortunately, can make the cause look terrible, even when it's worth fighting for, as it is in both these cases. Sex and sexuality. False charges of any sort of an ism are only making our train wreck of a society worse, and the ideal that everything controversial should be censored is doing the exact same thing. Because of this stuff, we are no closer to standing around the table of brotherhood Martin Luther King talked about. We've only diminished the likelihood of it ever happening at all. That's what Crying Wolf does. I can't sugarcoat this. False accusations of bigotry and injustice aren't helping anyone except those who need to cry wolf to feel good about themselves. It's time to check the meanings of the words discrimination, injustice, and bigotry, because manipulating the meanings of these words is only throwing a gallon of gas on a dumpster fire. At a time where the fight for equality really needs to be listened to and taken seriously. This is Daniel Riley for Sports Talk and Power Talk Internet Radio saying so long, and I hope you all tune in to my show next week.